Christopher Columbus unlocked the New World in 1492, but his lineage drowned in its own wake. Slave uprisings, courtroom wars, lost libraries, bastard heirs, and bullets in Madrid. His son crushed America's first revolt. His grandson bathed in scandal. His DNA still rewrites history. This isn't genealogy. It's a family curse 5 centuries long. Let's sail through it from 1479 to today. Christmas Fire, the Sun and the First Slave Revolt. Diego Columbus, Christopher's eldest, born February 3, 1479, Porto Santo. Died February 23, 1526, Espinosa de los Monteros. Inherited the title of Second Admiral in 1506 and became Viceroy of the Indies in 1509. With his wife Maria de Toledo, niece of the powerful Duke of Alba, he sailed to Santo Domingo with 1,500 attendants and raised the Alcázar de Colón, a coral stone palace still standing today. But paradise turned to fire. On December 26, 1522, enslaved Africans on his Nipi sugar plantation, about 200 Wolof rebels from Senegal, torched fields and barracks, killed overseers, and fled into the hills. They joined Taíno natives, creating maroon settlements that endure in Dominican culture to this day. Diego's punishment was brutal. 30 rebels hanged from palms, bodies left swinging. King Charles V remarked coldly, "This is the price for Indies gold. Would you forgive such an ancestor for discovering the world, or is it an eternal stain?" 28 years in court. The Platos Colombinos. After Diego's death, his widow, Maria de Toledo, refused to surrender. She launched a storm of lawsuits, over 20 in total, demanding 10% of all colonial taxes since 1492 and recognition of the family's inherited power. For 28 years, the courts of Valladolid echoed with bribes, forged papers, and the fury of empire. Witnesses like Peter Martyr testified, Columbus opened the Indies, the kings took the gold. Finally, in 1536, Diego's son, Luis Colón, accepted a compromise, a 10,000 ducat pension, Jamaica as a fief, and Veragua as a duchy, but no authority. The family became rich and irrelevant. The empire built on one man's vision ended as a lawsuit. The Duke's soap opera. 3 marriages and a bastard. Luis Colón de la Cerda, born around 1520 in Santo Domingo, died 1572 in Oran, turned noble fortune into scandal. His first marriage to Maria de Orozco was annulled for unfitness. The second, to Maria de Mosquera, ended in consanguinity. The third, to Ana de Castro, brought no peace. Between weddings, he fathered a bastard, Cristobal, 1565 to 1600, with his mistress Luisa de Carvajal, who would later sue for inheritance. Luis died in North Africa on a failed crusade against the Ottomans, leaving his family rich in titles, poor in legacy. 3 wives, 1 bastard, and endless lawsuits, not exactly saintly blood for the House of Columbus. The Library and the Secret, Hernando's World Project. Ferdinand Hernando Colón, born August 15, 1488, Córdoba, died July 12, 1539, Seville, the admiral's son by Beatriz Enriquez de Arana, was a Renaissance genius. He built one of Europe's greatest libraries in around 15,000 volumes, including 1,200 early prints, 3,000 engravings, and maps of the expanding world. He even paid readers to summarize every book, creating a handwritten search engine of the 16th century. But in the 1530s, the Inquisition raided the collection for Judaizing heresies. Thousands of books disappeared. The rest, about 4,000, still rest in Seville Cathedral. Centuries later, his 973-page catalog, the Libro de los Epitomes, was rediscovered in Copenhagen, revealing a mind decades ahead of its age. Modern DNA studies now whisper a hidden truth. Columbus may have been Sephardic, a converted Jew fleeing the 1492 expulsion. If so, the man who sailed under the Christian flag was escaping it. Pirate Bastard, the Panama Drama. Cristobal Colón de Carvajal, born 1565, executed 1600, the bastard son of Luis and Luisa de Carvajal, claimed his right to Veragua by the original 1492 contracts. In the 1590s, he was accused of piracy off Panama, attacking silver convoys worth 100,000 pesos per raid. The Inquisition caught him in 1599. After torture and trial, he was executed in Seville on July 12, 1600, his body quartered before the crowd. His blood mixed with that of conquistadors like Cortés, spreading the discoverer's line across Mexico and Venezuela. Noble by name, outlaw by deed. Hidden branches, Mexico and Portugal. María de la Cueva y Colón, born circa 1548, reached Mexico in the 1570s claiming Veragua by lineage. She lived in a palazzo overlooking the cathedral, fought lawsuits for 20 years, and left a 1595 will donating 5,000 pesos to La Merced Monastery. Her cousin Nuno Álvarez Pereira Colón y Portugal, 1568 to 1622, became 4th Duke of Veragua and briefly regent of Portugal in 1621, calming riots in Lisbon. That bloodline joined the royal house of Braganza, linking Columbus to Portuguese kings and the later emperors of Brazil. Maria once wrote, "The admiral's blood runs in me. Jamaica is mine by divine right." Through such forgotten cousins and bastards, the name multiplied quietly through half of Latin America. ETA bullets in Madrid, the dynasty falls. Cristóbal Jaime Colón de Carvajal, born 1926, died 1986, 17th Duke of Veragua and 18th Marquis of Jamaica, served as Vice Admiral of the Spanish Navy. On February 6, 1986 at 8:45 a.m., his car was ambushed by ETA gunmen on Calle José María Sert, Madrid. 8 bullets pierced the vehicle. 3 hit the admiral. The car slammed into a wall. He and his driver died instantly. The assassination, meant as a strike against the symbol of imperialism, shook Spain. The state funeral at El Escorial marked the end of the old male line. Yet even in death, the name Colón refused to rest. DNA shock and the crowd of ghosts. The 2006 to 2024 DNA project comparing remains from Seville Cathedral and European relatives shattered the old story. Results released in 2025 showed a Y chromosome J1M267, common among Sephardic Jews, not Genoese Italians. A 2024 Netflix documentary, Columbus, the Jewish Secret, and Spanish headlines reignited the debate. Church officials denied it, but scientists stood firm. Roughly 20% of Latin Americans now carry Sephardic genetic markers, living echoes of the same lineage. Genealogists count over 1.2 million descendants of Columbus, from Venezuelan farmers to Chicago taxi drivers. At the 1892 World's Fair, the 13th Duke of Veragua stood beside President Cleveland as the living Columbus. In 2025, an online claimant, Leonardo Colón, declared, "I'm the 22nd Duke. DNA is my throne." 5 centuries later, gold has turned to data, crowns to genomes. The Columbuses endure, heroes to some, tyrants to others, and to history itself. A family that refuses to vanish.